नमस्कार आयच्या खाशेल्या कार्यावळीन तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. तुम्ही सगळे जाणा की आम्ही डिसेंबर महिन्यात आसा, वर्षाच्या शेवटच्या म्हयन्यात. ह्या म्हयन्यात अशें म्हणटात की फॉरेनर्स डोमेस्टीक ट्युरिस्ट हे गोंयांत येता, गोंयांत मजा करपाक येता, पार्टी करपाक येता, गोंयाची ब्युटी पळोवपाक येता, गोंयाचें कल्चर पळोवपाक येता. आनी एक गजाल जी पणजे हांगासर प्रामुख्यान ह्या म्हयन्यात जाता ती म्हणजे वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल इन साऊथ एशिया. हय, हांव उलयतां सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवला बद्दल. ह्या वर्सा द फेस्टिवलाचें 9वें वर्स आनी ह्या वर्सा द फेस्टिवल हॅज ग्रोन बिगर अँड बेटर. आयज आमी काही सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवलाचे क्युरेटर्स आसा तेंच्या कडेन उलयतले, जाणा जावन घेतले की कितें तेंचे प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा, आर्ट लवर्स जे आसा, आर्ट एन्थुजियास्ट जे आसा तेंच्या खातीर कितें ह्या फावटी वेगळें आसा तें. आम्ही जाणा की सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल हे 15 डिसेंबराच्यान चालू जाता आणि पणजे सध्या सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवला खातीर वेगवेगळे सध्या क्युरेटर्स हांगासर गोंयांत येयल्या आणि त्या निमतान आमी जाणून घेतले की कितें नवीन प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल 2024 खातीर. 9th एडिशनान कितें वेगळे प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा हे सगळे जाणा जावन घेवपाक आमच्या वांगडा आयज सध्या एक मानेस्त आसा, क्युरेटर आसा क्रिस्टीन मायकल. तुमकां वेलकम टू आवर शो मॅम.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be back in Goa. Also, the last time that I came here was in 2019, and there I had an exhibition about ceramics. It was called Kindling Change, and it was again looking at craft and how craftspeople craft projects are being worked on throughout the country using ceramics and glass. But this time the exhibition is called Past Forward, and it's going to be at the accounts building, and I would really like you all to come, because for the first time we are working with a combination of the contemporary artists along with the traditional artisans of Bicholi. So we've got Shankar Turi, who does this wonderful work of blue tiles, and you'll see his work, which is amazing. Then we're working also with Zilu and his son Dattaram, who are also from Bicholi, but they make the terracotta roosters and much more work in terracotta. And they have worked with an artist who has come from Bengal. And so we've tried to combine the histories, the colonial histories of both Bengal and Goa, because there is that Portuguese connection. So that colonial link is there, plus the fact of the boat. Both are linked with the sea very, very strongly. And there is a song that plays in their work, which is both in Konkani and it's also Bengali. So we have that song playing, and there's the boat and there's the blue and white tiles. So basically, Past Forward looks at Goa's culture as being something syncretic, as being a mix of various peoples, various nationalities, various sort of religions, and it brings it together. So we have various craftspeople working with other contemporary artists, and we end with Hemi Baba's beautiful frangipani tree. And I think the frangipani, the champa tree, is everywhere in Goa. But the champa tree for us means it is the Wak tree, which is composed of different languages, different peoples, but they all come together into one tree. So please do come to see the exhibition at Past Forward. We really look forward to having you. There are also workshops that Shankar Turi is holding, Parthadas Gupta is holding, Reshmi is going to be doing a blown glass workshop. So we have ceramics and glass, and please come and see and meet the artists.
As you have mentioned, there is a lot of similarity between Bengal, as in Kolkata, and Goa. They both have a similar kind of food, like fish lovers.
Yeah.
Both are fish lovers. They have a favorite sport as football. So, ma'am, coming to back to your art, how what is the method for you to curate this art craft?
So I was looking so I had made a curatorial proposition. I had made my own, like, I would like to talk about the histories of Goa and Bengal. I would like to put contemporary artists together with the traditional craftspeople. But then to find the correct people. to make their personalities gel. Some artists don't want to work with other people, but one had to find the correct people and to create that very
Good combination.
good combination. That was my role. And then, of course, the magic was theirs. The magic of the material taking it forward. For example, Reshmi has worked with the Firozabad glass people. So, you know, there is that connection, there is that creative connection, and that has come through with the work. So I'm very happy to say that the collaborations is something that, you know, it's not just that one is using the craftsman for his skill or for his, you know, sort of technology and his material, but his creative energy. They've also done an equal amount of input. And I must say that for the Serendipity Festival, they have the value of giving craftspeople equal billing with the contemporary artists. And that I really appreciate because not everybody does that. So, you know, everybody's on the same level, and this is a fantastic forum for Goan artists to be a part of the festival.
Yes, ma'am. As you have mentioned that Serendipity Arts Festival is one of the largest art festival, multidisciplinary art festival in South Asia. So you have previously curated for many of the other art projects. So how has been your experience there, and what is the difference did you find here in Serendipity Arts Festival? You have come up in 2019, you said.
2019.
Yeah. So how has been the experience?
The experience with the Serendipity team is always fantastic. They are very supportive. Whichever crazy idea that I have, they're always willing to work it out with me, and I must say it's been a really great experience. Thank you.
And last question to you: what do you expect from the audience, or the viewers, or the art lovers, art enthusiasts for this festival?
I would like you all to come and see the exhibition, to talk to the artists. We have workshops, we have curated walks every day. So there is a chance to meet the artists, to play with clay. Reshmi is also bringing her kiln, so there will be some blown glass work. So to work with the material itself is very important, and I think that that's what we can offer.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kuldeep.
आमी सध्या तांज विमानतळ हांगा आसा आनी आमी जाणा की गोंयां 15 तारखेच्यान सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल जातले. सो दर दिसा वेगवेगळे तेंचे प्रोजेक्ट्स आसतले, वेगवेगळ्या वेन्यूंचेर तेजे प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा. सो त्या भितरले क्युरेटर्सा वांगडा आमी सध्या उलयता आनी जाणा जावन घेता की फेस्टिवला खातीर तेंचे कितें कितें प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा, त्या प्रोजेक्ट्सां बद्दल, आर्टिस्टां बद्दल कशें वर्क तेंच्यांनी केलां. सो आमी आमच्या वांगडा सध्या एक क्युरेटर आसा, संदीप संघारू. सो सर, वेलकम टू आवर शो. वेलकम टू गोवा.
Thank you.
So last year we had met for the bamboo,
Yes.
the craft. So this year, what is the project?
So this year the project we are looking at the ingenuity of how Ladakhi people live uh, in a very harsh geographical landscape and with limited resources, and the practices that they follow to sustain it and live very happily. And the idea is to capture the essence of it. Let's hope the project comes well together, because Ladakh is a space where you have to be there to experience, and we are trying to recreate that with the local craft practices that they follow, which generally we see crafts as a commodity nowadays that you go and buy from the market. But if you go to Ladakh and see the local crafts, you won't get them in the market because they just make it for themselves. Those are a way of life practices, and they live with the environment, and that is what we're trying to show and start a dialogue where people understand the landscape, the culture a bit, and how people live in those harsh conditions.
So what were the challenges? Because there were many artists together. So what were the challenges for you to put all the artists together and bring out the output, good output?
So the curation focused on different elements of these practices, right from architecture to how the nomadic Changpa tribe lives at the highest altitude, rearing livestock, from where we get one of the most precious fiber pashmina that goes to Kashmir for making the famous pashmina shawls. So I wanted to capture the extremes of the extreme in Ladakh, and It was challenging because uh, people who work there also are trying to negotiate these challenges and see how we can sustain these practices in a very contemporary way, but still bring in value to the people who practice it. And so it was challenging to bring in different practices together, because there is architecture, there is textile weaving, there is the cultural aspect of calligraphy and the art forms, tanka paintings, and there is the food itself was an interesting way of how because even food is very scarce there, so they'll eat only a few things. And how they live with the animals, the livestock, the yaks, the goats, the sheep, which are their main resource for food. They make cheese, milk, curd, and everything out of it, and the hair that comes out of it becomes the raw material for the textiles that they make and wear. So it's a very interesting set of installations that we are putting together.
Yes.
And that whole project is an immersive setting where people can come and interact with the installations. They can touch and feel and see, and there's a very short film about the people and how they use the local resources, which is a more visual way of informing how challenging it is, but how lightly they do these things up there in the mountains under those harsh conditions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to people coming and interacting with us and trying to see what kind of questions they have that we can answer and yeah, take it forward.
This is the ninth edition of the festival. So, do you think that the people are or the art lovers have come up for this festival? How has been the numbers, response from the public so far? Previous years,
I think I can,
you have been the part of
yeah.
previous
I
years.
can reflect on to what happened last year. It was overwhelming, the number of audience we had, and I could see a repeat audience coming. Like I would meet someone, and next day he would come up with 10 more people, bringing them to the event. So it was quite positive, and I'm looking forward to the similar response, or maybe much more this time. Because yeah, people are getting to know about more about serendipity. A lot of my friends who have couldn't come last year, they said, Sandeep, we missed and we're going to make it this year. So they've all booked their tickets. They're all coming who've never been to serendipity. They're coming for the first time. So I guess yeah, we need to spread the word
Yes.
and make Goa the venue for one of the most interesting art festivals.
Yes, of course. This is the largest multidisciplinary arts festival in South Asia, so it is one of the biggest festival. All the best for your project, sir, and hope the people will come to see the project.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
15 डिसेंबराच्यान सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल चालू होता आणि त्या निमतान एक AI मिनी लॅब हो एक वेगळोच असो प्रोजेक्ट ह्या वर्सा इंट्रोड्यूस केला तेंच्यांनी आणि तेचे क्युरेटर आमच्या वांगडा आसा मॅच्यू. मॅच्यू, वेलकम टू आवर शो, वेलकम टू गोवा, वेलकम टू इंडिया.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You have been part of Serendipity Arts Festival previously. So, how was the experience then? And do you think that the people have responded well to this festival?
So I came the first time to India 2 years ago for a project called Somewhere Ethereal, which was like a curated group show around NFTs and like digital arts. And now this year I'm back for two new projects. One is called Artix Machine, which is a curated group show, showcasing works from like the leading Indian AI practitioners. And the second one is called the minilab, which is educational space where we want to introduce the capabilities of AI to the public of Goa.
So many of the people doesn't still have the idea about the AI or what is it or how what is the capacity of AI. So what do you want to bring from this AI project?
So for like the mini lab, so we're gonna have three rooms. The first room is like audio to visual room where we have like an installation where people can speak with actually ChatGPT and say to ChatGPT, oh, I want to see like I don't know how to say a golden elephant, and then to really show to people that now you can speak with this AI and that you can give life to the ideas in your head. In the second room, we have like a setup where we want to give access to people to the latest AI technology, so they can transform the visual created in the first room into video. And in the third room, it's like basically an exhibition where we're gonna present a curated selection of the works created by the participants or the public in the second room.
Okay. So what do you expect this year? So for Serendipity Arts Festival 20, this is ninth edition.
Yeah.
So what do you expect from the public or the art lovers?
I mean, about our specific
Yeah,
exhibition or in general?
In general.
I think that from what I see, and I just came here like 2 times, but each year the festival is getting bigger. Each time the festival is getting more ambitious. This year there's like some incredible artists that they're bringing in. I've seen tonight, like the other night, like that there was going to be an exhibition for Ai Weiwei, which is like a huge like Chinese artist. There is like some super cool performers or dance performance from France Lahore is going to be there. There's Lakma, which is like a super big museum in LA, who's done something at Kala Academy, just next to where it's going to be. So it really feels that Serendipity as an organization is really pushing from the arts in India and for its recognition. And I would say that the more art in the world, the better it is. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. And at the same time, I think it's so much diversity from like food, dance to performance to AI, which is really picking up the curiosity of the audience. And I think that people are going to really love what's going to see.
You have been attending the festival, art festival, various art festival around the world.
Yeah.
Yes. So how has been the experience there, and what do you think the Goans do the Goans have potential, or the Indians have the potential to the same extent to create such a output that can compete to the world?
I think the positioning from Serendipity Art Festival is quite special in a way. Like the art they're interested in, it's not really, it's kind of quite not elitist, but it's very edgy in a way, you know. I think Goa is quite special, and India is quite special in as the energy, the vibes. It's like very vibrant but chaotic at the same time somehow. I was like just last week in Saudi Arabia for like a music festival, which was quite different and very, how to say, like, yeah, very very different. I think like the fact that there is like different location all around the city kind of creates something a bit different that if you just had like one spot. So yeah, I think that is really lots of things for people to see and like lots of experiences to have.
So thank you, sir, for giving your valuable time to us. And this is the ninth edition. We know that this year the festival has grown bigger. The venues are also increased. The projects are also increased. So hopefully the people will also respond to this festival, and they will come up and see the festival. Thank you, sir, and all the best for your project.
Thank you.
सो माझ्या सायडीक तुम्ही पळोवंक शकता जे बाल्कावज आसा जे आमी पयलीं गोंयचे जे पुर्वीचे जी घरां आसात जी पयलींची जी घरां आसात त्या घरांनी आमकां भायर पळोवपाक मेळटाले जे बाल्कावज आसताले भायर जे लोक आसताले जे घरांतले ते भायर बसताले पूण आयज खंय तरी ते ट्रेडिशन आमी कमी जाल्लेले दिसता फ्लॅटांनी आमी पावले आनी त्या कारणान ते बाल्कावज आसले ते आयज खंय तरी कमी जावपाक पावले आमच्या वांगडा आयज आसा स्वाती जानू जी फावंडर आसा सोशल डिझायन कोलॅबरेटिव्हची वेलकम सो तेंचे शी इज अ पार्ट ऑफ सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल सो फ्री बस जे आमी व्हिडिओ करता त्या भितर तुमकां हो ट्रॅव्हलिंग बाल्काव पळोवपाक मेळटलो सो स्वाती मॅम टेल मी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल what is the significance of this traveling balkav?
The significance is that mostly when it comes to art projects, not a lot of people are able to go to them, right? Only a certain section of society. And the idea behind the traveling balkaus is that we go to the people so that we can spread out as much as possible, be as inclusive as possible, and meet people from all walks of life. So the people who come to the main market, the people who go to the bus stand, the people who go to the promenade, maybe early morning walks in the evening. I think these are the people we also want to speak to, because Serendipity, I think it's great. The festival draws a lot of people. But I think the locals have a lot to say, and their opinions are also very important. So we thought, why not use a very simple, device, like a very simple object or furniture, which is like the balkav. So maybe it's not like the typical balkav. We have tried to, I think, learn from the traditional houses. But there's always this veranda in the front. Maybe you spent your childhood also in it, right? Yes. So I think people can relate to it. There's familiarity. So we put wheels under them, and now they are mobile balkaus. So we are taking them around the city, the bus stand, Kadamba bus stand, the main market, and asking people about their relationship with Goa, because today Goa is going through so much change. So many people are coming. Some people like it, some people feel that there are lots of outsiders. I think when we have an art project in Goa, it's important to listen to what the people of Goa have to say. So here we are listening to the voices of Goa, the people of Goa, and we're learning a lot. I think people who are talking about Portuguese, sort of rule, to today, the development that's happening in Goa, but also the gentrification. What is culture? People are saying Goa culture is changing. Goa culture is not Goa anymore. But also there's a lot of diversity. Is that the new Goa culture? So I am not from Goa, and I'm here to listen and talk to people. And that's what the project is about. And we're also collaborating with a local partner called Herbs. So they are the ones who are like going around talking to people in Konkani, in the native language. Lots of people from Karnataka. So we are talking to them in Kannada. Lots of people from I think different parts of the country. So Marathi, Konkani, English, Hindi. It's important that art can create this dialogue. So that's what we're doing.
So yesterday you all have started from Kadamba bus stand.
Yeah.
So what have been the challenges so far for you all?
Challenges, I think when you're working in a public space belongs to everyone, and also not everyone has the time to be involved in an art project, and sit and talk like this. So I think we hear a lot of no, I don't have time. That's a huge challenge, to invite people, to make people feel comfortable. But slowly, when people start interacting, it's really nice. But I think a challenge is, creating a trust that someone wants to talk to us, and they are like, okay, let me find out. They're curious, and then also they trust us. I think that's a challenge. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the 9th edition of Serendipity Arts Festival.
Correct, yeah.
So what have you expected this year for the festival?
I think the festival has really grown. It's really becoming more spread out across Panjim. Hopefully more people in Goa know about it. So I'm hoping that the festival can create more and more ownership in the people of Goa. That's what I'm hoping. And I'm hoping for, definitely some really engaging and thought-provoking artwork and performances. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Swati, for giving your precious time to us. And of course, this festival this year has grown because we have seen the increase in number of venues. The projects have also increased. So hopefully, the people will also get engaged in this festival.
Yeah.
Because such type of festival create a huge impact on the whether it passes a message, good message to the people. Also, the art enthusiasts or the art lovers also get an opportunity to present their talent in front of the audience.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
सो 15 डिसेंबराच्यान आमी जाणा की सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल चालू जाता आणि त्या निमतान पणजे मार्केट हांगासर डेली परफॉर्मन्सीस आसतले 19, 20, 21 तारखेक रातचे 10 ते 11:30 मेरेन द नायट मार्केट ऑफ स्टोरीज. सो ह्या सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवला खातीर सध्या सोशल डिझायन कोलॅबरेटिव्हची टीम जी आसा ती काम करता आणि ट्रॅव्हलिंग बालकांव हेचो पार्ट जो आसा तो तेची टीम आमच्या वांगडा आसा. Welcome to our show, first of all.
Hi. I'm Anushrita. I'm from Social Design Collaborator.
Yeah, so yes, from yesterday you have started the traveling Balkan. So how has been the experience so far?
It's been good. The idea of this traveling Balkau is to travel, take it to different places across Panjim. So we have been taking it to different public spaces because it's very important that we, take these Balkaus and invite people to talk, to sit and talk. And that is the inspiration, right? Balkaus outside Goan homes, they are an architectural element where it invites people to sit and socialize and talk to other people. So we want to create the same thing. We want to create these tiny public spaces across Panjim, and which is why we have been, going around. Yesterday we were at the bus stand, and there were a lot of different kinds of people traveling, people from Goa, people outside of Goa. And it was very interesting to invite them to sit on these balkaus and actually talk to them, ask them what is their relationship with Goa. And each one, because their experiences are different, they all have different answers. So, it's very important that we hear these stories because Goa is made up of so many different people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, different stories. So I think it's very important that we put together all of this and understand what it means, what Goa means to people, what is the identity of Goa. Yeah.
So we know that Goa is the hub of art. So there are many artists. So yesterday there was any artist whom you all met yesterday?
No. So
It was general public.
Just general public,
Okay.
because it's important that we hear the people of Punjab speak, right?
Yes.
Artists all have an interpretation of what Goa means or what their ideas are, opinions are, but general people also have a lot of opinions, what they want to say, what they think. So I think our project is mainly about listening to the people of Punjab and not really focus on curation or artists. So I think the project is the people. Yeah.
This is your first year for the festival, right? So you have been previously worked associated with any of the art festival previously?
Yeah, I mean, I think Serendipity is different because it's located in Goa.
Yeah.
It's a local festival in Goa, right? So they are basically inviting artists from all over the country, which is nice. But also sometimes what happens is when people come from outside, they tend to ignore the context of where this festival is. It is in Goa,
Yes.
and the festival should be about celebrating Goa and understanding Goa better through art. But sometimes that does not tend to happen, which is why I think it's difficult. Some artists like to be part of it, but also some artists don't relate to it. It's a Goan festival. So I think we want to change that. We want to come here. We've decided to associate ourselves with Serendipity and try to really understand, embed ourselves and understand and create something, create art out of it and display it at the festival.
So this is the 9th edition of the festival, and this is your first year for the festival. So what are we expecting so far?
Our expectations. So it's been good. We've managed to make these beautiful balkaus, and we've managed to come to Goa. So our association has been great till now. I mean, we're really looking forward to the festival. We want to hear other artists also, see, interact. We want more people in the festival to interact with these balkaus, and we want to see their reactions as well. So we're really looking forward to it. I think Goa has an energy to the city, and everybody has an opinion. So I think we want to know that, and that's very different and unique to the city, whereas other cities don't have this. So we want to capture that through the festival and call everybody, talk to people. And yeah, I think the festival is a great place to do that. So we're really excited.
So this installation will be later halt at Art Park.
Yes, so we actually, we're going to stick around at the main market today.
Yes.
And tomorrow we'll be taking the same balkaus and heading to the promenade, the art park entrance.
Yes.
So there also we will engage with a lot more people, try to talk to people there. Different kind of people come there, to exercise, to jog, people with families, kids, etc. So we also want to talk to them because the market has a very different crowd.
Yes.
So we want to do that, and then we will take these stories, collect these stories and display it at the entrance of the art park.
Achha.
So starting from 15th December,
Yes.
you will be able to come there and look at all these responses, and also the balkaus will be parked there.
Yes.
So you can sit on them, interact with them. And then people who have also written on these cards, they can come and see that their cards have been displayed. So they can see that their responses or their stories have been captured, and see other people's reactions as well. So I think it'll be a culmination of our 3 days of interactions and the balkaus, and a lot more people coming and seeing everything put together at the entrance. Yeah.
So hopefully this year the people and the festival gets more bigger, and hopefully the more people join this festival. All the best to you and your team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, the response is overwhelming. There's just a sheer number of visitors coming and a lot of children and a lot of young people coming, which is incredible for the artists and for the curators like myself. The XS building hosts 3 different shows. The Geographies of the Self is focused on 6 presentations by very famous international and Indian artists. Then there is an exhibition hosted by the Science Gallery from Bangalore called Carbon, which is a very important exhibition that they did in their own premises, but now came here to present to a wider public. And then there's my small show called Ghosts in Machines, which is an Indo-Swiss collaboration with Indian artists and Swiss artists dealing with the promises of modernity and possible futures. Well, in a way, having traveled and worked in India extensively, in a way, Goa might be the only place that such a festival is actually possible, especially on this scale as well. I mean, the scale of what the these hundreds and thousands of collaborators put on here for 10 days is just astonishing, right? So you need a place which is willing to put that into a festival, and I think Panjim in that regard is very unique. I have friends here who have studios around Panjim and in the north of Goa. There's a very lively scene of artists and designers and musicians in Goa. The interaction between these local moments and, let's say, Swiss artists, for example, is something that makes my exhibition interesting to me as well, right? So we have one artist who lives here and who presents a work which focuses on the landscape of Goa, and then to kind of juxtapose that with a work that deals with China or a photographer from Switzerland is interesting for the people involved as well.
I just want the audience to come and really enjoy the festival. We do this for the people who come to Panjim, who live in Panjim, who live in Goa. We put all this hard work through the year so we can really celebrate people. For us, art is important, but the people who come to the festival are more important. I hope everyone comes and receives the festival with the same positivity with which we've built, with love and care. We are very bad at saying no. So every time a good project comes, we find it very difficult to say no. We have grown organically. We haven't grown by design. We feel there's so much talent in the country, in the world, that we want to showcase everything. So we get a little greedy about saying, let's do everything. It obviously stretches us as a team, but we're very excited that so many creative people are going to gather in Panjim today. We wanted to show the world that Goa and Panjim are meant to be cultural hubs. And so we want to take up different parts of the city and show how beautiful the city is, what the city really means, and how the city is an accepting place. And for that, we increased the venues this time, which was very exciting for us. Sorry for the hammering, but we're sitting on a construction site. This is the making of the festival behind the scenes. I would like it to be the permanent home. I think with the warmth that Panjim has accepted us, the way everyone in Panjim has accepted us, I don't think this acceptance can come anywhere else. So till you guys don't ask us to leave, we are here in Goa for as long as we want.
This is the first time I've been at the festival, so what I can say is that I've heard and I've asked people in India what their opinions of it were, and I've only heard good things. And so far I've been here installing, and I've only worked with the most professional people and only seen good things. So, so far I'm very impressed, and so far so good. I think what's important is that it's a public space, so there's no payment for entry. Everyone's invited, everyone's supposed to come, you know, they're very much invited, but they should also come because the opportunity to see world-class artworks that belong in museums and will be in museums eventually, they're here to see. And you don't have to pay anything, and you can see it, and you can experience it, and Goa is a beautiful city to do it in.
I'm Shantamani. I'm from Bangalore, and I've been working with carbon for the last 15 years. This particular show, which we are hosting here in the Excise Building, is curated by Janvi Palke, and it's part of the Bangalore, Science City Bangalore. This particular work that I have done for them is about the issue of carbon, and it's like a landscape, burnt landscape, but that is covering around you. So what we expect the visitors to walk through this. The intention is to reflect on the issue of carbon. You have to really very carefully navigate this. And I want people to navigate this jungle that you see, a burnt jungle that you see at the back of me. It basically trying to make people realize the issues of carbon at this point, and the kind of the kind of solution that we really may have to make as citizens or individuals is something that is very important. So this particular show reflects around the issues of carbon.
How the idea came to your mind to mix such project?
The issue itself is very complicated, Now you see a lot of people who are trying to find solutions to it. But then you also know that is also very complicated in a sense, not as solution, but they also have adverse effects of that. Carbon is, deep inside our psyche, our growth, our survival. Even our dreams are fueled by carbon. So it's not easy to find solution to make a kind of a balance to and live our lives. So this is a space to reflect on that. Our intention is to not only talk about it in a very, like a text base, but we are also, my work is about making people to experience it, to experience the burnt landscape, to experience the navigation, to change the body language as you walk through it. I'm sure it is going to affect, it doesn't need an explanation. It is going to deeply affect you once you leave that space. Serendipity is fantastic, the energy is great. It is not only the pleasure and the joy of intermingling with the community is amazing, but at the same time there is a content that is actually coming through the work. It is not just a mela, it has got very deep layered thoughts to provoke people to think, to connect, to also probably create a space where we can have a different kinds of platform for solutions. So in that sense, this festival is really amazing, and I'm very glad that I came for this festival as an artist.
Also, it is the festival where all the international also artists come together.
That's true. That's really true, especially if you see in this particular building, there are Star Worlds who are exhibiting here. Their work is amazing, fine-tuned. We are very happy to be part of it. We are happy to kind of show with them. These are the kind of festivals that can actually bring such amazing artists, deep thinkers, to come and connect with communities. It's an advantage, actually. Yes. A festival which brings people to access such people to think, talk, and discuss. It's an amazing gesture, and I'm quite happy to be here till the end to see how it unfolds.
Well, for one thing, I think it's an absolutely wonderful opportunity to show projects and also research-based work. There's all kinds of exhibitions, and there's all kinds of platforms available at Serendipity. But there's also a diversity in terms of what you can show. And for some of us artists, I think we work with galleries as well, but the idea of bringing the artwork to a public platform, that has a whole different feel to it, but also the engagement with the public, that's very important. Also, when you show with more commercial galleries, there are certain limitations with what kind of work or how much research can be shown and talked about. But this is an alternative platform, a very important one for the arts, where there is this kind of a focus on creativity in the larger sense. There's also a huge sense of inclusivity in terms of the diversity of the artworks that are showcased, and so I think it's absolutely wonderful. For me, this is really important because my work talks a lot. My work is at the intersection of art and ecology, and I also talk about issues of sustainability and conservation in the 21st century, and what kind of collective future are we looking towards. So in such a sphere, I think engaging with audiences of all age groups, but also from all walks of life, and from people who are engaging also with different disciplines, that kind of a situation, a holistic kind of situation, is something that Serendipity really provides for us, and I think it's just absolutely wonderful. In fact, this project, if you look at Ghosts and Machines itself, which is curated by Damien Christinger, this has a very interdisciplinary approach. So it's also about these conversations that we are able to have with other creative people, with the curators, with the producers of Serendipity itself, and the public at large.
I'm in the middle of installing my work as part of Ghosts and Machines. My work is titled Elemental Whispers. These are camera-less photographs developed in Ladakh. So Ladakh is the northernmost region of India, and largely people feel that it's a barren moonscape. But Ladakh has more than 1,000 plant species, which I work with. So these photographs that you see are called anthotypes, which are flower prints, quite literally, and these are exposed by the river. And these abstract impressions that you see are all made by nature and natural elements like water, air, plants, birds, and so on and so forth. So I feel it goes really well with the entire exhibition here titled Ghosts and Machines, because what kind of agency do plants have? How do they end up forming these abstract impressions? How do they leave traces? Do they have some kind of intelligence of their own? So these are the questions I would like my viewers to also wonder about, as I did while making this work.
You have attended any of the previous art festivals?
So,
Any
yes, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you thought that Serendipity Arts Festival is perfect for this your artwork to be displayed?
Well, one, let me think. I would say because of my geographical location where I work, I personally like where my work travels, say, cardinally opposite to the direction of my work. So here, the geography is different, which ends up making the flora and fauna biodiversity different. So I enjoy it when works travel to different geographies and make their own meanings. And of course, Damien, he has his own genius behind it, and I really loved it when he invited me to do this. So.
Last, ma'am, what message do you want to give to the art lovers, art enthusiasts who are going to visit this festival?
Message, okay. um, well, there is a lot, but in terms of my own work, I would say look at plants a little more closely. This is a biased view, of course, because I work with plants, but I just want to say that plants have their own universe. We might not be able to visually access it all the time because it's on a micro level. So maybe find more ways to look at plants closely from a distance, but shift the larger perception of plants being very passive organisms. So that would
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
15 डिसेंबराच्यान आमी जाणा की सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवल चालू जाता आणि त्या भितर वेगवेगळे प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा, वेगवेगळे आमकां आर्टिस्ट पळोवपाक मेळटा. तशेंच आनी एक कलिनरी आर्ट हो एक प्रोजेक्ट हांगासर सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्साक आसा आणि त्या सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्साचे कलिनरी आर्ट्साचे आमच्या वांगडा क्युरेटर्स आसा. तुमकां वेलकम टू आवर शो.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm Elizabeth and this is Anusha and we're from Edible Issues.
So, what do you expect from the audience or the viewers for the Serendipity Arts Festival?
So at Edible Issues, we want people to think about food and food systems and what they're eating, how it impacts them, how it impacts our agricultural landscapes, how it impacts our economy. And so our entire curation is all about the culture of our food futures. How do people know more about climate change through tasting food? How people know more about how migration and people and documentation of cuisines. How do we know more about how do we learn to write about new ideas and new food futures? What do we want as the future of food? And together our curation hopes to talk about and help people think about what they want as food futures.
So the festival is in Goa. So we all know that Goa is very artistic, or Goa has very art in it. So there is special cuisine for Goa. So how you have incorporated your cuisine or the Goan cuisine in the Serendipity Arts Festival?
Sure. So, Goa has a lot of very interesting different subcultures. For example, there is seaweed in Goa, which is a naturally available resource. So, we're doing a seaweed walk to understand the different types of seaweed that grows in the sea. We also have about different types of fish. We have a secret market walk in Panjim where we're telling people how they can discover the city. So instead of thinking as Goa as how to incorporate Goa in the festival, we've started from Goa and then we've incorporated other elements, because when we're trying to understand food, Goa is a beautiful city. It has so much of diversity. So many people, different types of people come in, and they're changing eating patterns are very, very interesting to observe as outsiders from Goa. So we've tried to stick to, so we also are working with someone like Marianne Lobo. She's a doctor who's based out of Goa, but she specializes in edible weeds. So we're doing a walk around Goa to understand what plants around you can you eat and what you can't eat. And we have incorporated a lot of such elements into this curation.
So what was the curation process for this culinary art?
So we So we, as Anusha was saying, we looked at Goa first. What is the ecosystem, and how can we incorporate as much as the ecosystem as we can? So we went into we are working with people who work in the sea with seaweed, and we're featuring and highlighting their work. We're looking at food forest spaces, and we're highlighting their work. One of our exhibitions by Mold talks about seeds, and we've reached out to the Goa Biodiversity Board to incorporate their seeds into the exhibition. We're looking at tuber crops which grow in a lot of food forest spaces. And so similarly, basically, we're looking at how do we look at this beautiful ecosystem of Goa, and how can we start asking questions about how do we think about these foods? Do people know about these foods? How do they see their relationship with their foods growing? We're also looking at what are the methods or the ways we can know more our foods better. What are the topics that we want to talk about, and that we can use food as a tool to talk about. So food and caste is a big issue that we talk about a lot, and we're working, there's a performance as part of our curation by Shri Vamsi Mata, who will it's called Come Eat With Me, and it's a performance that talks about food and caste. There's a theatre workshop to understand our body and how we interact with our food system spaces better. And so we've looked at people, we've looked at place and space, trying to see how best we can we can taste a food system like Goa. Yeah.
So, if you want to really understand your food and look at food in a different way, especially if you're from Goa, we think that the Serendipity Festival will be really interesting for people who love food. We have also a lot of interesting things for you to taste, try, and have fun with. So, that's what we're hoping to see people do at Serendipity.
All the best for your projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवलाचें 9वें एडिशन आणि ह्या एडिशना भितर वेगवेगळे प्रोजेक्ट्स आसा, वेगवेगळे वेन्यूज आसा. तुमी आत्तां आमी जे क्युरेटरां कडेन उलयल्ले तेचे तुमी ग्लिम्सीस पयले, तेंचे तुमी मत पयलें की कितें वेगळेपण आसा, कितें खाशेलेपण आसा ह्या वर्सा खातीर. तुमी नक्कीच ह्या फेस्टिवलाक रेजिस्टर करात. तें रेजिस्ट्रेशन फ्री आसा आणि तुमी नक्कीच हे फेस्टिवल पळयात. इतलेंच मागता आनी थांबता. डेली आमी तुमच्या मुखार सेरेंडिपिटी आर्ट्स फेस्टिवला बद्दल वेगवेगळे कवरेज घेऊन येत रावतले. तोपर्यंत पळयत रावात प्रुडंट.